Alhamdulillah wahdahu wassalatu wassalamu ala man la nabiyya ba'dahu wa ba'd. There is other points, maybe in another khutbah we'll talk about it. But I want to touch upon another issue quickly in the last 3 or 4 minutes I have in the khutbah. We all heard and witnessed, and some of us seen and witnessed that horrific crime that it was done in Palestine against someone who'd been sanctioned safety and been granted safety, which is a member of the media, which is the reporter from Al Jazeera TV in Jerusalem, Shireen Abu Aqleh. She was shot. I believe she was shot in the head, with a bullet. She was killed while she is trying to cover, and report to the world the crimes that happen on a daily basis. I know she knows that she might be one day herself the victim that she's been covering every day for the last decades or so. And no doubt that this is a crime. And the irony is that the murderer will promise to investigate the crime. There's no doubt that this abused people in Palestine, the Palestinians, the level of abuse and the level of violation towards the basic human rights, it's something that's so hard to express. Sometimes the words cannot express how much you feel about it, how much anger, how much frustrations, how much sadness that you have when you watch what is happening. Yes, I know that this young woman, her blood is not any different than many Palestinians killed for the last decades or so. Yes, got a lot of attention because of her position as a reporter, because of all this. But for us as a Muslim, we know that every blood is so valuable. It doesn't matter if you are a president or governor or just a young man on the street. Every innocent soul must be protected. But it became even worse when it comes to area like this. It's just a reminder for the whole world about what's going on there. That there is no Palestinians, no matter who he is, what it is, what gender, what religion, what has any regards. There is no discriminations when it comes to discrimination against Palestinians, unfortunately. That big reaction that we saw among the Muslim world and among the Palestinians, also a testimonial that the abuse, as I said, is not only towards the Muslims in Palestine, but against any Palestinians, any Arab Palestinians who decided not to bend their back and not to accept the occupations of that land. Any person who believes in the freedom of their own people. It doesn't matter, because this young woman was not a Muslim, she was a Christian. And she was killed. And you saw how Muslims responded to that with no discrimination too, because she is also, her blood is protected and she's a Muslim or non-Muslims. Even if that person would be a Jew, we all will be standing and angry to protect the blood of any innocent person. It doesn't matter. Injustice is injustice. Also, my brothers and sisters, if this has been said, I also want to say and mention that brought to my attention so many in the social media, and people from the community asked me about some weird reactions to this, which is, I call it a distractions from the case itself. And because it was done, it is important for it to be clarified. But I believe those who brought this up out of ignorance, they're causing distractions among the Muslims. Which is when you hear people making Salatul Janaza in a Muslim format on her. Lining up and making Salatul Janaza on her, as if she's a Muslim. Or people start arguing on the media about, Yarhamuha Allah, may Allah Or some people even says that she's in Jannah. And now she's not a non-Muslim, not a Christian, no, a Muslim. And saying she is in Jannah, or saying she's Shaheeda. And not, you can't say she's the Shaheed of the Palestine, Shaheedat al-Ard, Shaheedat al-Qadiyya, Mashi. This is a restricted type of Shahada. You know, but it doesn't take the Shaheed in linguistic meaning. But no, I'm talking about some people said this is equal to the Shaheed in Islam. And people wrote articles to defend such ignorance and nonsense. I want to say those people who bring these up and stir the community up by bringing these things up, in my opinion, they're just distracting the Muslim from the real case. So we can get engaged and say, hey, you're not allowed to say this about you. And we start like fighting with each other as Muslim. But because this issue has to do with the aqeedah, and unfortunately, some young Muslim and ignorant Muslim will fall for that. No matter how much I care about human rights, I care more about Allah's rights. And there is no equal by someone who worship Allah alone and someone worship Allah and claim that he has a son. تكاد السماوات أن يتفطرن من فوقهن. As much as I care about justice towards humans, I also care more about justice with Allah. إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. These principles cannot be compromised. Al-Jannah is not mine to distribute it. He deserves it, she doesn't deserve it. She is with Allah. He deals with her according to His justice. That's not my point. My point is to defend her rights as a Palestinian woman been shot unfairly. That's my right as a Muslim. After that point, she goes to Allah. But for you to come to say, oh, this and that, no. Or to offer the same, al-ulama rahimahullah, there is no two opinions. That's not exist. Not exist. And I claim and I stand for my, it never exists that any scholar ever said that you're allowed to do such things for a non-Muslims. Somebody die as a non-Muslim, you cannot say, Yarhamuhullah, you cannot say, may Allah have mercy on him, enter Jannah, go to paradise, or you pray janazah on them like the way you do the Muslims. No. You don't need to be, Yal'anullah, yani hada abada. You don't need to go from the far left to the far right. No. You just say, khalas, they die. We have to, the issue today is not where she is or where this person is. The issue today is why and where we stand. But we cannot let political things like this shake our belief and make Islam equal to kufr and Tawheed equal to trinities. We can't allow that. That's just ignorant and shows how weak the Tawheed and the Iman and the value of Tawheed and the meaning of Allah in humans' heart, unfortunately. That's when country became over God or equal to God. And it did not. That's why I hope that we don't get distracted from the issues with such things. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring justice to Shireen and to her family, and many Palestinians die unfairly in this beautiful land. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring relief to those who've been abused around the world. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to always stay in the straight path and to guide us to always worship Him until we meet Him while He is pleased with us. Allahumma ghafir lana warhamna wa'afina wa'afu anna. اللهم ارفع الظلم عن المظلومين اللهم ارفع الظلم عن المظلومين اللهم انتقم لعبادك المظلومين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها